film against South Carolina? How do you feel like the offensive line held up against South Carolina's pass rush?
Pass rush pretty well. We had a couple missed opportunities. They did a really good job of bringing pressure from the field, and we had a slide to the boundary and a couple different things that we didn't pick up. Overall good. I wouldn't say good enough though, and that's hats off to South Carolina. They got a really good front, and they're not just pass rushers too. You know, the two defensive ends I think are going to be, one's a freshman, but NFL guys and interior guys are NFL too. So I mean, it was a really good defensive front. I think we did well overall in the day, but just need to make some improvements.
Going from the South Carolina loss to learning you still have another shot at the college football playoff with Syracuse taking down Miami, just what were those emotions like on Saturday?
Yeah, it was an absolute mix of emotions because obviously Saturday was a missed opportunity to seal a solidified spot in the playoffs, and then didn't land that opportunity and move on. And that's what we were walking out of the game after we talked and everyone kind of did their thing or whatever. And I'm walking out and I was like, well, we still got faith in Syracuse. You know, we have another opportunity. And some lady was walking next to me and she was like, it's 21-0 right now. Miami's up. All right, that's not necessarily what I want to hear right now. But Syracuse was able to pull through with the win, and that's another door open. It's a great opportunity for us. So we got to maximize that and take advantage of that this week.
Did you go home and watch the rest of it, or did you not even turn it on?
I stayed in the parking lot. I walked back over here with my family, and they were grilling out still after the game. And I just stared at the TV, and I sat out there until it ended. So I was glued to that TV while that game was going on.
How quick was that switch flipped for you of like sadness to maybe a little bit of hope watching the game to then, okay, where's the game plan? How do we get ready for this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was definitely a flurry of emotions. Like I said after the game, you're just being devastated by a loss like that, especially at home in a state rivalry game like that. But you got to flush it quick, especially in this game, because that's what I told the guys. Like, you have to almost have like amnesia in this game, and come off a loss on Saturday, and then immediately, like an hour after you walk out of the locker room, 2 hours or whatever, like you have another opportunity to go to the ACC championship and then make it back to the playoffs. Like, everything is still right in front of you, so you got to flush that quick. And everybody started firing up in the group chats and talking about the mentality for this week and getting back ready, getting right back on track.
How awesome is football? Like, how
Yeah,
cool is
seriously.
this second life you guys have?
Seriously, I know. A great opportunity. Very thankful for it.
Deco has talked about, dream big, all of that. How similar is when he's talking to us, he's kind of laughing and saying anything is possible. That national championship is still in front of us.
Yep.
He means it. How similar is that to the message for you guys as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, everything's still right in front of us. For the first time since the loss to Louisville, like, we're still in control of our destiny. Obviously have to play a really good team this weekend and handle business and get better every single day. But, the opportunity is still there, but it's not really the focus right now. We're not focused on the national championship. Coming off a loss right now, we have to be a really good team in a championship game. That's the focus right now. So it's not really looking ahead to like what possibilities there are. It's right now I'm focused on Wednesday. So what do I have after this? I'm going to go eat lunch, get taped and get ready for practice. Then I'm going to focus on Wednesday night and then Thursday, and then just everything leading up to the game. And that's kind of the mentality we have, is just be where your feet are right now, and hopefully everything will take care of itself.
You guys have had a couple losses this year. You bounced back really well from those losses, and we've seen some of your best games after them. How are you guys able to have those performances? What is it? Have you honed in on how to create that perfect dynamic coming out of these?
Yeah, it's a tough question. Coming off a loss, I wouldn't say that there's any more will or want to after a loss like that, because you want to just the same going into every week. Like, every week we prepare with a purpose, and we prepare like to our best. And so coming off losses like that's tough, but you just have to move forward and handle business. And the only thing that you can take from the losses is the corrections that you made from in the game, and learn how to fix the mistakes and take those moving forward. So that's obviously been a great deal of help this year. And I think we've done a good job of that moving forward, so we just have to keep doing that.
Cade was clearly upset, frustrated after that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cade is a leader, and Cade coming back from a performance like that, your confidence, where it lies in him, and why he's the right guy and the perfect leader for this team.
Oh yeah, I have absolutely no doubt. The transformation that I've watched Cade make over the last couple of seasons is unreal. And obviously we were all upset, but I mean, we've watched Cade, like, you look back, I was very, we were kind of on the flip side of the Pitt game, like we went down and scored, and then they went down and scored, and we had to go and come back. Well, this time Carolina did, and we had to go score to win the game, and we didn't get it done this time. So I mean, he's done it before, he's put it on film, and that's what, like, it all comes down. People see the last play and they're like, oh, like, is this what happened, or like the mistake or everything? Like, all right, well, what they didn't see is, like, what about the sack that we gave up a couple drives ago? Our defense got a turnover, and we went 3 and out because we gave up a sack. It's not all on Cade, it's on everybody. It's a team effort. So a bunch of plays lead up to the final play where it might be a mistake made, but that's not necessarily on Cade. That's on us as a team. So Cade's a great leader, and I think he's the right man for it.
So there's a couple of games where you didn't have Tristan and Marcus, and you were playing pretty much all the snaps and at tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, how much extra did that take for you to keep yourself ready to go? And obviously everything you deal with your ankle and all that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time in the castle here, the recovery center, in the training room, just doing tune-ups and stuff, like everything that I can to get my body ready. And you know, Pitt was an interesting situation because we had a freshman out there at left tackle, and then, you know, literally first play of the game, I turned around, he's on the ground. I was like, all right, well, because we had talked about in practice, we're like, if something happens to Elijah, yeah, I might have to go back out. So I took one live rep that week at tackle, like literally just one, and we kind of laughed and like shrugged it off. And we're like, if something happens, like I'll have to go in at right tackle. Well, sure enough, I turn around, he's laying on the ground. So I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. So Trent Howard comes in the game, does a great job at left guard, and we bump Blake over to left tackle, which he did a great job too. But it was more so, you know, I was locked and loaded, like ready to go, like my body felt good, but it's just now I'm at a tackle that I haven't played since 2021. So that was definitely an interesting experience. But I mean, like as far as position wise, like I take the same amount of steps to recovery, like for each game. It was just that was a little funky going into that one, having to play a different position. Same for Blake too. I think Blake got a couple reps at left tackle, but he went out there and did a great job too.
Why do you think you guys were able to hold it together? Obviously having all these moving pieces and then bring Tristan and Marcus back, and it was pretty seamless. Like, what allowed you guys to kind of do that with all this chaos? Like,
I honestly just think the unity of the offensive line, like we have a lot of selfless players. We have a lot of, there's nobody in our room that is like not willing to do what needs to be done. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what, like I told the guys going to that game, I was like, listen, I had to play tackle afterwards, and then the next week I had to play tackle again. And I told him, I was like, someone's got to do it. Like, I mean, there's a job that needs to be done, and that's what Blake never complained. Like, I never complained going out there. Trent came in and did a great job. Obviously, he's dealing with a pretty serious injury now, unfortunately. But we have a lot of guys that are very selfless and want to do what's best for the team, and that's what's best for the team might be like Tristan not playing when he got hurt, and that's what he couldn't really put weight on it, and that's what we knew if he played that game, he might set himself back another 3 weeks. So it's a lot of selfless guys. It's a really close group, and we all just want to work together and do what's best for the team.
Is that a combination of that's the selfless nature you mentioned within this group, added with someone like Matt Luke coming in and bringing a fresh energy to that offensive line room?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I think Coach Luke has done a great job this year in instilling the mentality. And like I said, we came in this year with effort, intelligence, and physicality. Those are the three things that we want to hone in on as an offensive line and something to improve on like every week moving forward. But yeah, he's done an excellent job instilling that in our group every day. And I think what people forget is like this is a group that, like, you know, all of us have been here for multiple years, outside of Harris, who's been playing a lot, but he's still been here a season and played, I guess, 2 seasons now. We've all been together 4 or 5 years. Like, we've been, like, you know, doing life together, working out, you know, hanging out together outside. And it's just it's a tight group that we've been able to build over the last couple of years. And so I think that plays a big factor into it too.
As you said, you had one rep at tackle before the Pitt game. Was it a good rep, or like you?
No, no, it was not. So I did a couple, like I would take some in scout reps, which are like, you know, they're not really full speed, like going against the defense. So I went in for one rep against our defense and team pass, and it was like TJ Parker or whatever. And I set out, and he like beat me inside, and like my shoulder like turned, and he like just ran right past me. I was like, all right, that probably wasn't the best confidence booster right there on that rep. So then Luke pulled me, and we were kind of laughing back there. And then we got in the game, and like I had to get back out there, and I was like, honestly, it helped me. The loss helped because remember I was like, well, what happened on that one? I was like, I sat head to head with him, like where I could, you know, like face mask to face mask, and he went inside. So I was able to take that into the game. So it was only one rep, but I mean, it was beneficial to me because, you know, I gave up a pretty bad sack in the game, got beat around the edge, just at my feet. But I think for the most part, like I was able to go out there and take that one rep and have a general idea of, you know, try to bring back my tackle mentality that I had to have for a few years when I first got here.
Any questions for Walker from Zoom? Anyone else in the room?
You guys are playing another high sack total team with SMU, I guess.
Yeah.
What have you seen from them on film that makes them kind of get after the quarterback?
The biggest thing that I've seen from SMU is one, they just got good players. Like they got good players that are veteran guys, played a lot of football. They've got big players. They got run stoppers, and they're extremely disciplined. And that's what you have to have for success as a football team. And that's why they've been so successful. Is you cut on the tape, and I mean it's Wednesday now, but I've watched like all the rundown and everything, the base runs and everything, and I see why they've shut down the run on everybody. They got huge dudes that can move too. They're not just big, you know, space eaters. They can move as well and rush the passer. And like I said, you get on a 2-gap, you know, they're really good with their hands and feet. So I mean, if you're not technically sound, it's gonna be a long day. It's a good challenge. So I mean, they got great athletes. They have experienced athletes, and like I said, guys that played football. So I mean, this is a really good group up front for them.
Anything else for Walker?
Do you prepare any different for a game like this, or is it pretty much the same thing as a normal game?
No, I'm the same through and through. That's what, it doesn't matter what week it is, whether it's week 1 or the championship or the middle of the season. Like personally, for me, my confidence comes from preparing the same. And that's what, like, my Monday is my Monday, my Tuesday is my Tuesday. They're all the same every single week. Like, I do the same lift every week. I eat at the same time. Like, I do the same recovery at the same time. Have the same mentality in practice. I think I can't, like, that personally, I don't think it's a good, like, layout for anyone to, like, play to an opponent almost. Like we said, like, here we play to a standard, and that standard is our best. So, and that looks different from week to week. Some weeks my ankle's not firing the right way, or you just got something going on. But I think every single week I go out there with the same mentality and the best that I can do for that week. And so, no, I'm not really like preparing for this differently now, scheme wise, yeah, because you're playing a different defense. So you have to be ready for different styles of guys that you're going against. But no, same mentality.
Appreciate it.
Anything else? Thanks, Walker.